Hello everyone, how are you today? I'm Makeda Valletta, also known as the Renaissance Amazon and the Body Scientist. Right now I'm live on my IG page at the_Renaissance_Amazon_81, but I will save this video and repost it to my YouTube page, the Renaissance Amazon, okay? So be sure to follow me in both places because I post a lot of things on Instagram that I don't post on YouTube. Okay, so follow me on YouTube, be sure to follow me on IG. Okay, so I hope you're all doing well today. So for those of you who are unfamiliar with me, the reason why I'm also called the Body Scientist is because I'm very much into all the ways that we can take our body to its highest level, okay? All the things that goes into building and maintaining our bodies at its highest level when it comes to performance and health, okay? So it's not just about looks, it's also about what you can do. It's also about your health. Some people have a look, but they're not healthy and they can't do much, okay? So it's more than just looks, right? Even though looks matter too, because looks can tell you certain things about your health, all right? So I have a background in exercise and sports science and nutrition. I'm a strength and conditioning coach. Strength and conditioning coaches are different than just regular personal trainers. Our job is to help increase performance and decrease injury, okay? I'm not going to get too in depth into what that is because I have other videos where I talk about that. Also, I'm a sports nutritionist, I'm a pole dance instructor, and I'm a dancer who studies the dances of the diaspora, but I grew up studying ballet. And so I want to talk about today why I always say that dance is my yoga, particularly dances of the African diaspora, particularly dances from the Americas. And I did a video years ago called Haitian Dance is My Yoga. I might have done this video like 10 years ago, right? And it got deleted off of one of my YouTube pages that got permanently deleted. And it wasn't a good quality video anyway because cameras 10 years ago weren't the same. But I did do a video called Haitian Dance is My Yoga. And so when I say dances of the diaspora, I am a serious student of Congo-based dances for one. So all of the popular dances in the Americas, samba from Brazil, even capoeira, which is a dance fight, merengue from DR, rumba from Cuba, salsa, champeta from Colombia, what else? Bomba from Puerto Rico. Bomba from Puerto Rico has a Congo root, but I think it also has roots in other parts of Africa too. You have Congo Square in New Orleans. What else? Jamaican dancehall is straight up Congolese, straight up, all of the movements, okay? So out of the dances, the dances in the Americas, all of the popular dances in the Americas are straight Congolese, okay? Now when you look at the religion, also Rara from Haiti, and a lot of the Haitian dances, even in Haitian voodoo, even when the spirits are not Congolese spirits, a lot of the movements are, like Inyamvalu, Erara, a lot of Gede, which is a dance of the dead, straight Congolese, okay? So in Congolese is very different than West African. So in the US, you have a lot of people who take West African dance, right? And I put it in quotes because the West Africans I know don't even do those dances that they do in West African dance classes in the US. But those West African dance classes in the US, it's like the same kind of manufacturer steps, first of all, but also it's very generic, okay? No offense, but it just is. I remember in 1999, my dad took me to Dance Africa in Brooklyn. In Brooklyn, it happens every year. And I remember him saying, they've been doing these same 10 steps since the 60s. I remember my dad saying that, and I didn't know what he meant back then because I wasn't a student of African dance back then, but since then I see, okay? Now, my area of study is the Congo, and the Congo is very different than West African. West African, that people do to the djembe, is very yang, is very up in the air, da, 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 very like, the drum is screaming at you and it's very up in the air, right? The Congo has a deeper sound, okay? It has a deeper sound that hits the root, it hits your hips. Congo-based dances have very intense hip movements, okay? A lot of gyrating, a lot of shaking, a lot of footwork, a lot of intense undulations of the hips, a lot of movements in the shoulders, rotations and stuff in the shoulders, okay? And in Haitian dance, now, I've studied a lot of stuff from Cuba. Afro-Cuban dance is a huge umbrella, okay? So you have the Orisha dances, which a lot of people, when you take most Afro-Cuban dance classes in the US, except in New York, because New York has all the special shit, But when you take an Afro-Cuban dance class, a lot of times it's Orisha dances, which is in Yoruba, okay? But there's more than that. There's also Palo in Cuba, there's Arara, Aboquat, there's different African spiritual traditions that have different rhythms, different dances, different drums. And so then you also have Haitian voodoo, Cuban voodoo, which comes from the Haitians that came to Cuba on the other side of the island in Santiago, okay? And so I have studied various types of Haitian dance, Haitian. I've studied various types of Afro-Cuban dance, from religious to social, from Dahomey, from, the Congo, whatever. I've studied it both in New York, I've studied it in Miami with certain conferences with instructors that came from Cuba, I've studied it in the Bay Area with great teachers, and I've gone to Cuba. I went to Santiago de Cuba a couple of years ago and studied with a member of a very well-known company who taught me also some of the Haitian Afro-Cuban dances, right? And I've been studying Haitian dance, so I'm not going to get into it. I just study a lot of it, right? So my whole point is that out of all the things that I've studied, Haitian dance and Haitian art it really captivates my heart. And everybody who, I should have brought these books over here. There's some books I want to tell you guys about. And I forgot to bring my books. I always have books to recommend. But I don't edit videos, so I would get up and get the books. Maybe I will get up and get the books, but maybe I'll just write them below. But everybody that I know, every scholar that has studied dances of the diaspora, they get stuck on Haiti, okay? There's some very potent magic in Haitian folkloric dances. Unfortunately, a lot of my Haitian friends, unless they are musicians or dancers, they know nothing about it, right? That's the unfortunate part, which is different than Cuba, because in Cuba, Castro made all of that part of the education. So everybody in Cuba, even the people that scrub the toilets, know about the dances. They know about the rhythms. They know about that. Haiti is not. It's not like that, which is sad, because there's some potent medicine in Haitian folklore, and especially in the dances. Now, with saying all that to be said, with saying all that, right, as a strength and conditioning coach, I'm always looking for the most effective exercises, okay? I don't get on the gym and run the treadmill. I don't use any of those cardio machines at all, and I don't put my clients on them, okay? And I should do a video on my other page. I will do a video on my other page, The Body Scientist 81, and talk about why, and more in depth as to why I don't believe in those cardio machines, or why I think they're wasting your time. I believe in doing real work, okay? And I have to see a point. You can do exercises that build you up. You can do exercises and activities that make you stronger and build you up, or you can do exercises and activities that wear your body down, cause you to get injured, cause you to have bad knees in 10 years, right? So, Haiti, my mind is in all these different places, but the type of formations you get into. There are a lot of poses in yoga that are similar poses, okay, except in dance, they're not poses, because in dance you don't pose. In dance, you move through movements. You move through one movement into another movement, okay? It's not the same as just holding something and focusing on breathing. When you dance, okay, in yoga, you don't have to move your hips. There's no activation of moving your hips. You're not moving your feet. You're not moving your shoulders. You don't have rhythmic rotations. You're not aligning with music and rhythm, okay? It doesn't call for you to be coordinated, okay? Because having graceful movement calls for coordination. That's another level of mind-body connection than just holding a pose. Now, with yoga, I'm not going to say that yoga from India or whatever, what people do now, I'm not going to say it has no purpose, right? Because I always knew it had some purpose, but I still gave it less credit until when I started pole dancing. And they use yoga a lot in the warm-ups, and I'm like, that's cool. I can see how it's good for these warm-ups for the pole. But a lot of it, I feel like dance is more effective, because it's like another level, okay? Instead of being stagnant, because life is not stagnant. So instead of holding poses and being stagnant, when you're actually dancing, you have to have a deeper level of mind-body connection, because you have to hear the music, right? You have to interpret that in your body. You have to be on the rhythm. You have to let that flow through you. You have to move multiple parts of your body at once, even though you might be holding a complex pose. And just like yoga, you have to focus on breathing. And I feel like focusing on breathing is even more important when you're dancing. Even more important, okay? And then you're also memorizing moves, you know, so it's just different, it's deeper levels and higher levels of mind-body mastery. And also, just like yoga poses have certain like benefits to your chakras, your energy fields, the same thing is true with dance movements, okay? The same thing is true. There are a lot of movements in Haitian dance that is, I've learned stuff in Chinese medicine, certain energetic things I've learned in traditional Chinese medicine with dealing with the energy fields. And then I go to a Haitian dance class and they're doing those very movements, okay? And people don't always tell you, oh, this is good for this, and this is going to weave your energy fields together. Or I'm in an Afro-Brazilian dance class. I remember years ago, you know, Afro-Brazilian, there's a movement that they do a lot where they're like pushing away, right? You see that a lot in Afro-Brazilian dance. I remember when I was in my early 20s, the teacher said to me, this is about pushing away negative energy, right? And so when I would do that movement, that's what I would use in my mind. I'm dancing hard. I'm like pushing away this negative energy. And I've used it at other points in my life when I wasn't dancing, okay? So, and this is the reason why, if you're an Afro-Indigenous person from the Americas, why our ancestors dance so hard. Why you find these dances, you know, various dances throughout the Americas that involve feet stomping, that involve intense hip movement, shaking, gyrations, okay, and then also getting into complex poses. With certain, in Haiti definitely got that. Out of any place in the diaspora that I have studied, Haiti really can challenge your mind, body with the type of positions that you get into, or you're still undulating your hips, okay? Now, it's kind of hard to find. I'm going to post some videos below on my YouTube page, but it's kind of hard to find videos that do Haitian dance or the dances of the diaspora justice, because a lot of this is stuff that you have to see if you go to those countries or if you take a dance class, and a lot of dance classes aren't recorded and put on the internet. So it's hard to find videos that really capture what I'm talking about. But I will find some, and I will put them below on my YouTube page for you to take a look at. And so, but like someone like my mom, you know, my mom is 71. A couple years ago, I had her get into yoga, like regular, you know, Indian style yoga, because I really wanted her to work on her breathing. And for somebody who is really disconnected from their body, trying to learn how you're breathing, trying to learn how to breathe and dance is too much for those people. A lot of times they're going to be too focused on the dance moves where they're not going to focus on breathing, okay? And so, but like I said, it's a higher level. So for me, I feel like, you know, dance is my yoga because, you know, I focus on, you're also tuned into what your body's doing, your technique, your breath, and also the shaking, the undulating, and the gyrating gives it another layer of medicine, okay? It's known that shaking your body helps to reset your energy fields. You know, most of our blood supply runs through our hips, okay? So if you're holding a deep squat, you know, I wish I had a cameraman, but if I'm in this position, right, and then my hips are going forward, right, or I'm in this position, and I'm doing this, okay, just a few examples, but I'm just saying. And I'm not in a dance studio right now with the drummers, because if I'm taking a dance class, you're moving across the floor with these movements. Or you're going from one movement into another movement, into another movement, and you're keeping this undulation. Could be in this position even. Okay, so just getting this movement. All right. It takes higher level of mind-body activation, activation and control of the hips, the shoulders, letting things flow through you. I think I made my point. I think I made my point. I've been wanting to do this video for a while. So, because of COVID, it's been hard because there's no dance classes, and to me, a lot of this dancing can't be done on video. You know, there's nothing like being in a studio with space, with the right kind of floor. You need the right kind of floor. You need space, because a lot of times the movement might require kicking or changing the direction, and you go down, you go high. And when you have live drummers, the drummers give you energy to do things like supernatural. The drummers give you things to do things that you wouldn't be able to do without them. I feel like the live drums gives you supernatural powers. I really believe that. And because there's no dance classes since COVID, you know, I'm not trying to lose my dance skills, and I'm still very much a student. But I feel like I want to do some educating, because it's something that I've spoken about for years, and I feel really passionate about. And I feel like a lot of people, I feel like black dances get overlooked when it comes to talking about potent medicine. People look to India, people look to China all day. And even the difference between dances in the diaspora and the Americas is different than the dances from Africa. African dance and Afro-American dance forms, and when I say Afro-American, I mean South America, Central America, North America, Caribbean. Our dance forms are not the same as West African dance forms, and that has to do with, I mean, they have similarities, but they're not the same, and that has to do with the experience of slavery, has to do with how different groups mixed, it has to do with slave society and the rules, and it has to do with the trauma that we endure, okay? So it's not exactly the same. And that's what makes us a very special group to study when it comes to studying healing dance forms. Like belly dancing is great, and belly dancing requires you to undulate, but you don't have the footwork, you don't have the intense shaking, you don't have the change of direction, and like it's not a powerful dance. So when I say powerful, I mean explosive, fast twitch. It doesn't have that kind of explosiveness. It's more of a gentle, right? But when you do dances in the diaspora, like even samba can get, the shaking can get hard, okay? Hard, all right? And that has a lot to do with slave society, okay? Slavery was rough everywhere, but in Brazil, Jamaica, and Haiti was the worst. And all of that shaking helps to shake off trauma. It helps to reset the energy fields. It helps, so, you know, a lot of times, and when I say our ancestors, I have to be careful with saying our ancestors when I'm talking to black people or Afro-Indigenous people, because all of our ancestors are not the same, okay? Some people have some lazy ancestors, all right? Some people come from some do-nothing lazy bloodlines. But as a general statement, you know, our ancestors, our Afro-Indigenous ancestors in the Americas weren't doing these dances all day for no reason. You know, most people couldn't get through 1 hour of an Afro-Cuban dance class or a Haitian dance class or Afro-Brazilian dance class. Most people couldn't get through 30 minutes of that shit without choking. And then you think about how the people that were doing these dances were enslaved and working in the heat of South America, the American South, the Caribbean all week. And then on Sunday, they had the energy not only to dance like that all day, but also still in the heat. And we, who hardly do anything these days, can't take 30 minutes of it. That's just a reminder of how weak you are, we are, how much stronger you can be, how much stronger your ancestors were, okay? And it's in moments like that that I pull on that energy, and I say, I need to breathe, because breathing is what gets you through it. And that's the thing about yoga, that's the thing about dance, especially in black dance where you are trying to, you know, all that shaking and gyrating and moving and shit makes you out of breath. Breathing is what gets you through it. Breathing is what gets you through life. It's important. Okay? So you just have extra levels in medicine. So I just want to see black dance respected on the level of yoga. Okay? I have a video called Respect the Booty Dancers. And I'm going to post that below on my YouTube video as well. Please check it out as well. You can listen to the points made. If you learned something from this video, enjoyed this video, please like it, please share it. And be sure to join me to, if you follow me on IG but not YouTube, be sure to follow me on YouTube at The Renaissance Amazon. And if you're on YouTube and you don't follow me on IG, you can follow me at _body_. Sorry, I have so many pages. Yeah, you can follow me at The Body Scientist, but also The Renaissance Amazon 81. are right there below. Okay, people? Check out these dances. I'm going to post some books to check out too for those of you who like to read. Okay? And I think I made the points I wanted to make, and have a good day.